You know what scares me most after treating over 1,000 diabetes patients? It's not sugar, it's not weight. It's what happens from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. that nobody talks about. Listen, a groundbreaking 2019 study from the National Institute of Longevity Research in Japan tracked 4,200 people over 60 for 12 years. The results? Those who made just 3 specific sleep mistakes saw their diabetes risk increase by 73%. 73%. And here's the kicker. Most of them thought they were sleeping very well. I'm talking about mistakes so common you probably made at least 2 of them last night. One of them, and this blew my mind when I first read the data, actually happens before you get into bed. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's longest practicing doctor who lived past 100, called this the silent diabetes trigger hiding in plain sight. And the worst part? Your doctor may have never asked about this at your last checkup. But stay with me for a few more minutes because mistake number 2, the one related to bedroom temperature, sounds crazy until you see what it does to your insulin at 3 a.m. And hello, for those new to my channel, I'm Dr. Saul Whitman, Chief Medical Officer at Northern Institute for Society Wellness. For over 35 years, I've treated thousands of patients with cardiovascular disease, atherosclerosis, stroke, and high blood pressure. My channel shares free medical knowledge and tips to help you save money on disease prevention, avoid expensive hospital visits, and confidently live your best life in your later years. Why sleep suddenly matters more after 60. Now, before we dive into these 5 mistakes, you need to understand what changes in your body after 60 that makes sleep so critical to diabetes risk. Think of your pancreas, the organ that produces insulin like an old car battery. It still works, but doesn't hold a charge as well as it used to. When you're young, your body can tolerate sleep deprivation. Missing a few hours, your pancreas just works overtime and pumps out more insulin to keep blood sugar stable. But after 60, that reserve is running low. According to the 2020 Harvard Aging and Metabolism study, our insulin production efficiency drops about 30 to 40% after 60, even in healthy people. Here's where it gets interesting and a bit scary. Poor sleep doesn't just reduce insulin production, it actually makes your cells insulin resistant. It's like your cells hang up a no trespassing sign, and glucose just accumulates in your blood with nowhere to go. Over years and decades, this is what leads to type 2 diabetes. So, let's talk about these 5 mistakes, and I promise you at least one of these will make you say, wait, I do that every night. Mistake number 1, the early bird special schedule. Here's mistake number 1, and it sounds completely counterintuitive, going to bed too early. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, but Dr. Whitman, I watch lots of videos on the internet and they always say early to bed, early to rise is good for health. Well, those videos were probably partly right, but they only talk about the benefits of sleeping early without explaining the harm to your circadian rhythm. A fascinating 2021 study from Stanford Sleep Medicine Center found that adults over 60 who regularly went to bed before 8:30 p.m. had significantly higher fasting glucose levels compared to those who went to bed between 9:30 and 10:30 p.m. Why? Because your body's natural melatonin surge, which helps regulate insulin sensitivity, doesn't peak until around 9 to 10 p.m. When you force yourself to sleep before this natural peak, you're essentially swimming upstream. Your body isn't ready for deep, restorative sleep. You might sleep out of habit or exhaustion, but you're missing that critical window when melatonin and insulin work together like dance partners at a senior center social. They need the right timing. The solution? If you're currently going to bed at 7 or 7:30 p.m., try gradually shifting 15 minutes later each week until you're going to bed around 9:30 to 10 p.m. Your pancreas will thank you. Mistake number 2, the temperature nobody talks about. Okay, here's mistake number 2, and this one sounds completely crazy until you see the data. Sleeping in a room warmer than 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases conducted a 2018 study where they had participants sleep at different temperatures for several weeks. Those who slept in rooms at 66 degrees Fahrenheit showed insulin sensitivity improvements up to 25% compared to those sleeping at 75 degrees. 25%. It's like getting a discount on diabetes risk just by adjusting your thermostat. Here's what happens. When your bedroom is too warm, your body never enters deep restorative sleep where it does crucial metabolic cleanup. Think of it like putting hot soup fresh from the pot into the refrigerator. This makes the fridge lose heat and it has to produce more cold to cool down the temperature. Your body's working overtime just to maintain temperature, and all that excess heat actually interferes with how cells respond to insulin. Plus, and this is the part Dr. Hinohara emphasized in his later work, cooler temperatures naturally stimulate brown fat activation. Brown fat, unlike regular white fat, actually helps regulate blood sugar. It's like having a little helper working the night shift while you sleep. So, what's the best temperature? 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I know some of you are thinking about heating bills, but compare that to the cost of diabetes medication later. Trust me, adjusting the thermostat is a better investment. Mistake number 3, the bathroom marathon. Now we come to mistake number 3, and this one hits close to home for many of us. Waking up multiple times to use the bathroom and thinking it's just normal aging. The thing is, yes, some nighttime bathroom trips are normal after 60, but if you're getting up 3, 4, or 5 times a night, that's not just about your bladder, it's both a symptom and a cause of insulin resistance. Every time you wake up and turn on bright lights to go to the bathroom, you're spiking cortisol, also known as the stress hormone. Cortisol and insulin are like two kids fighting over the same toy. When cortisol goes up, insulin effectiveness goes down. Do this 4 times a night for years, and you're basically training your body to resist insulin. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Japanese longevity study I mentioned earlier found that people who used dim red lights for bathroom trips had 40% fewer sleep cycle disruptions compared to those using bright white lights. Red light doesn't suppress melatonin production the way blue and white light does. Mistake number 4, screen time syndrome. Watching TV or using tablets within 2 hours before bed. And before you roll your eyes thinking, I've heard this before, let me tell you what the research specifically shows for people over 60. The 2020 University of Pennsylvania sleep study found that blue light exposure after 8 p.m. reduced insulin sensitivity by an average of 18% in adults, over 60, significantly higher than in younger people. Why? Because our aging eyes have less natural protection against blue light, and our circadian systems become more fragile with age. But here's the part nobody talks about. It's not just the blue light, it's what you're watching. A study from Amsterdam Sleep Research Center found that emotionally stimulating content, news, crime shows, thrillers keeps cortisol elevated for up to 90 minutes after viewing, even when people felt relaxed watching. Think about it. You watch evening news with all its pessimism and gloom, then wonder why you can't sleep. Your body is soaking in stress hormones. And remember what stress hormones do to insulin? They block it like security guards at the Super Bowl. Dr. Hinohara, the doctor I mentioned, had an elegant solution. He said, the last hour before sleep should be like preparing for a pleasant journey, not watching a horror movie. He recommended gentle music, light reading, or simple conversation. No screens, no news, no problems to solve. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Dr. Whitman, my favorite show airs at 9 p.m. I get it. Record them. Watch them earlier in the day. Or at least use blue light blocking glasses and keep brightness low. Your pancreas doesn't care about the season finale, it just wants to work without interference. Mistake number 5, the dehydration paradox. And here's the 5th mistake, which seems completely contradictory. Not drinking enough water during the day, then chugging a whole glass right before bed. A 2019 study from the European Diabetes Research Institute found that chronic mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% below optimal, can impair insulin function by up to 20%. Your blood becomes thicker, making it harder for insulin to reach cells effectively, like trying to push a shopping cart through sand instead of smooth pavement. But here's the problem. If you don't drink enough all day, then drink 16 ounces of water at 9:30 p.m. to catch up, guess what? You're setting yourself up for mistake number 3, multiple bathroom trips that spike cortisol and destroy sleep quality. The elegant solution is simple but requires discipline. Drink most of your water from when you wake up until 6 p.m. The Japanese Longevity Research Institute recommends drinking a glass of water within 30 minutes of waking, then drinking water consistently throughout the day, at least 6 to 8 glasses before dinner. After dinner, just sip a little if thirsty, but no large glasses. Dr. Hinohara used to say, "Water the garden in the morning when the sun can help it grow, not at night when it will just flood the roots." I love that metaphor. 7-day action plan. So let me give you a simple 7-day action plan to start implementing these changes. Days 1 through 2, focus on sleep timing. Gradually shift your bedtime toward 9:30 to 10 p.m. if you're currently going to bed too early. Days 3 through 4, adjust bedroom temperature to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Buy a room thermometer if you don't have one. They're cheap and eye-opening. You might discover your room is 73 degrees and you never knew. Days 5 through 6, install red lights along your bathroom path and start your daytime hydration schedule. Set phone reminders if needed. Drink water at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. Day 7, implement screen limits, no TV, tablets, or phones within 2 hours before bed. Use this time to read books, do gentle stretching, or chat with your spouse or partner. After 7 days, evaluate how you feel. Are you sleeping more easily, waking less often, feeling more rested? Most people notice improvement in the first week, but the real magic happens over weeks and months as your body's insulin sensitivity gradually improves. Listen, I've practiced medicine for 35 years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. The most powerful medicine is often the simplest. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated protocols. You just need to work with your body's natural rhythms instead of fighting against them. These 5 sleep mistakes: early bedtime, warm bedroom, frequent bathroom trips with bright lights, evening screen time, and poor daytime hydration are quietly raising diabetes risk in millions of Americans over 60. But now you know. And knowing is half the battle. The Japanese have a concept called kaizen, continuous small improvements. You don't have to fix everything overnight. Pick one mistake, fix it this week, pick another next week. By the end of the month, you'll have made significant progress. And remember, the body wants to heal. The pancreas wants to function properly. Cells want to respond to insulin. You just need to provide them the right environment, and that starts with how you sleep. If you found this video helpful, share it with your loved ones so they can know too. And please like my video so it gets recommended to more people, and subscribe so we can meet again for the next tips. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll answer. And I'm Saul. See you in the next video.